This video will guide you through how to take our handle from a previous video, as you can see here on the screen, from the 3D model that we created through to this. And it doesn't look like much this, but this is a 2D representation of our handle as an external profile. This gives us the blank silhouette that we can use so that we can use it as a go no-go gauge when we are turning this on the lathe. So we need to achieve this curve here, and we take that from our design. To achieve that 2D design, we need to take this 3D image here and we need to convert it to 2D. Now, we've done this at the end of the last video by going to design, drawing, and from design, and we created this drawing here. And the task at the very end of the video was to convert this to a PDF. So you needed to either using this button here, going to the cloud storage, and then pressing the download button and as PDF, or by exporting it directly using the PDF exporter here. You can export as a DXF, and DXF is the file type that we need. And I'm going to show you this now and show you that there are complications associated with the DXF. DXF is the format we need because it's a universally accepted format on a lot of different software, but the way certain softwares convert to DXF can be misinterpreted by other softwares, and it causes a few problems. So if I export this sheet as a DXF, it asks me where I want to save it. So I'm going to do everything on, I move stuff around. I'll do everything on my desktop today. So handle drawing design 1 sheet 1 and press save. And now if I go down to, and I'll do a new sheet for this, and you'll see why in a minute. If I go to on 2D design, and 2D design is the software that we and most schools use for our 2D work, import file, and if I go to my desktop, I'll find it there, press open, and you have to choose between inches and millimeters. Now there's an issue with DXFs that some are exported as inches or millimeters but mislabeled. So we'll start off with millimeters, which is what we hope it should be, and this one comes out in the right size. But as you can see, there's a lot missing. If we flick back and go, it's missing quite a bit there. So we'll put that off to one side. So instead we can export it to PDF. So we'll export this to PDF, press OK, and there is handle drawing design 1, save. We need to convert that PDF into a DXF file. And I've played around with quite a few of these file converters, and the two that I found are most effective are either Cloud Convert or onlineconvertfree.com. I found both of these are quite effective. As you can see here, I've already done one of them earlier on today, so I'll start it again just so you can see it. So I'll select my file and I'll go to my desktop. There's my file there. Press open and convert it to, so I want to convert it to CAD, not DWG. Hold on, I've put the DXF file in there, my mistake. I want the PDF. There we go. Select the right file, it does really help. And then for CAD, it lets me convert it to DXF. So I'm converting from PDF to DXF. This is remarkably quick. It's all done on their servers and download. I will emphasize here that I've used Cloud Convert a number of times in the past, so I'm relatively confident with what I'm getting. But if you're not confident with the website, don't download from it. Play it safe. So now I can go back to my 3D design and I can go to this button here, which is import file, and straight away on my desktop, I need to go to my downloads because that would have downloaded. So if I go to my downloads, there it is there. And in millimeters, and here you got the problem. That should have been in millimeters, it's come out absolutely tiny. So I'll do that one again. If I do it in inches, there we go. And this is where there's a conversion ratio issue. But that doesn't look right. It's a bit blobby. But again, this is just a conversion issue. If I select it, go over to line and change from thick, and it wants each line to be 36 millimeters. So fine lines, we have our shape. And that's what we want to work with. Now that we've got our shape, we need to convert this into the 2D profile we need. And this is actually a rather quick process. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm actually going to have this near the bottom of the screen. I'm going to use my attach tool, which is this one here, and this will force whatever line I'm drawing to attach to the nearest node. And then get my line tool, and I'm going to snap to there. So even though the center of my box is not on the line, when I click, it snaps to it. I'm now going to select my radial lock, and that's going to force me to go up at 90 degrees. And it doesn't matter how far up I go, as long as I go far enough up. I need to take radial lock off so I can then go and snap to the next part, and then put radial lock back on. And again, I'm going to draw the line back up. I can now take radial lock off, and I can take attached lock off if I want to. I'm going to look at these two lines. I think this one is lower, so I'll snap to that one and go straight across. Now, you can use radial lock for this if you want to. I will look here, and I'll put on the screen on the video, down at near the bottom left hand corner, you can see that my measurements are increasing as I go left to right, but I can also see my X and my Y distances, and my Y distances are 0, so I know I haven't gone any higher or lower. So there is a level line. I can then press and hold on my delete tool and get my delete part tool and click on that bit. And we're going to need this tool because we need this to delete below here, and be very careful with it. You don't want to delete too much, and it does delete it in small parts. I'm going to work my way along, and I'm going to zoom in a lot closer just so I can get to just the parts I want. The big issue with 2D design is you can only go back one step. So if you undo, you can only undo once. It doesn't store all those moves in the memory. So you have to be very careful. If you do need to undo, then you have to undo a lot, or undo one at a time and take your time with it. And if you make a mistake, undo then. There we go. So I've gone nice and close. I can now, if I click on that, and if I go to explode up here, it separates everything down. So I can now click on these lines here and start deleting them. So if I zoom out a bit, I should be able to highlight this section here and delete that. Delete these lines here, and I can see something here. So I will zoom in on that selection, and I think I can just click on that line and delete it. There we go. I can go back to my last one, and there you go. I have my profile. Now this top bit doesn't need to be this big. It can be smaller, but this is just so we can hold this by hand up to our work on the lathe and check that it fits in to this profile. And if I go back to my other file that I had open here, you can see that I've got it so that it fits in. If I offer this up here, it fits in quite nicely. And this is what we'll be looking for when we're on the lathe. We can offer the work up, come off to the side a little bit. There we go. We can offer our work up so it fits in, and we can measure it and check it. And this is a quality control and a quality assurance method. So there we go. That's that video. You are going to need to do this before we get to our work on the lathe. So make sure this is accurate. Take your time with it. And don't forget to save your work on a regular basis. When working with 2D design, if you try and overtax it or overcomplicate it, it is prone to crashing. So you do have to save your work on a regular basis. I'd recommend saving it or maybe saving a backup or a copy of it. Okay, good luck.